In this video, I'm here with a legal expert to speak about Airbnb.
I'm Randall Dolland, a licensed real estate agent, and I'm here to help you navigate the world of New York City's real estate market.
In this video, I'm speaking with a legal expert about Airbnb and how it affects you, the home buyer, if you're looking to buy property or even if you're renting. What exactly the rules in New York City? Because some persons were not too clear. So Steven is going to tell us a little bit more about it, just to bring some more clarity to the whole Airbnb situation. Steven, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Randall.
Right.
So I'm Steve Kirkpatrick, partner with Belkin, Burton, Winnick Goldman, and one of the things that I do is represent building owners in dealing with violations issued by the city and Airbnb issues. And Airbnb is a very hot topic recently, both because of legislation and the way the city is enforcing the rules. And there has been a lot of change, and the rules are now unclear.
Exactly, that's a true thing. So when you're looking to buy like a townhouse, a lot of people come in and they ask about, okay, I'm looking to buy a townhouse. It's going to be 2 family or 3 family. Can I rent one of my apartments out to Airbnb?
So the answer to that is very clearly you cannot rent an apartment out for less than 30 days, an entire apartment. Where the law is less clear is if you want to rent one single room out for periods of less than 30 days.
Right, but you can rent a room in your apartment.
You can't rent a room in your apartment except within certain exceptions. And the exceptions are that you're limited to having 2 people at a time, and you have to be staying in the apartment at the same time.
So you can rent a room in your apartment as long as you reside there?
Within certain exceptions, you can, yes. The rule is that if you're living in the apartment and the city very strictly looks at that, meaning you have to be there every day, then you're allowed to rent 1 room or 2 rooms to up to 2 people. And so what that means is if you rent 2 rooms, it's limited to 1 person in the room each night. If you rent 1 room, you can have 2 people because there's a limit of 2 people at a time in the apartment with the owner.
Okay.
With the tenant.
Yeah, so right, the city's looking, they're actively search online for these sort of Airbnb services or home away.
That's correct. So I actually just met recently with the head of enforcement for the city, and what I'm told now is there used to be a backlog. They used to have complaints. It was all complaint-driven, 311 complaint-driven. Now they're spending about 30% of their time scouring ads on Airbnb to look for illegal advertisements, illegal rentals.
Okay, and then you get hit with serious fines, right?
You get hit, right? So there's two groups of rules. If you have a 3-family or more, then you cannot advertise apartments, even rooms that are unlawful. And so that's a fine, $1,000 for the first violation, up to $5,000 for the second violation. For 2 families, you're not prohibited from advertising, but you can't either offer or rent units that are in violation of the law, and the fines for those are very significant.
About how much?
For the first violation, it can be, the fines can range. What they basically do is they come in with a team of like 4 or 5 inspectors, and they go roof to basement, and they write up every violation. So assuming you don't have anything like in terms of illegal alterations, the fines the first go around can start at $30,000 to $40,000, and they can go up. And for the second go around, they probably start at maybe $20,000 to $30,000. They can go up because some of the violations carry a per day fine of $1,000 up to $45,000.
So we're talking about $20,000 to $45,000 of fines if you rent your apartment illegally on Airbnb in your townhouse.
Exactly. In the city, what they do, they really go through. I've seen clients that have come in that have gotten 7, 8, 9 violations because they'll look through, they'll come in with the plans, they'll come in and they really do a top to bottom inspection. So if you added a bathroom without a plan, without permits, they'll write that up. If you did, move the wall without permits, if you added a kitchen, any of that, that's just a whole other round of violence.
So in a sense, you're almost inviting the city to come and, in a sense, audit your entire home because of an Airbnb act.
That's exactly right. And I have a client who, right here in Harlem, she owns a three-family brownstone. She got hit just a week and a half or so ago with a round of violations. She had been advertising. They came in based on the ads that they found, and then they tried to do an inspection. They couldn't get in, but then they were able to piece things together from her reviews, from her ads, and write up violations. So they're very, very aggressive. You want to be very careful when you do it.
So exactly, to be clear, you buy a multifamily home, you could only rent the additional apartments as full leases.
Exactly. What full leases means is for periods of more than 30 days. That's the restriction, because it's basically the hotel industry has been very vocal,
right,
and they are being affected by the Airbnb, and so the restriction is 30 days or less.
Because they're paying taxes, they're paying for
Exactly.
all, keeping us in line with the state regulations
Exactly.
for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that makes perfect sense. But when is it that Airbnb is actually legal? Let's just be clear so you fully understand. When is Airbnb legal?
So the city, unfortunately, has not put out anything in writing with clear guidelines, but it seems based on the decisions that what would be legal is if you rent in your home or your apartment where you're actually living a room for less than 30 days to no more than 2 people at a time, meaning that no more than 2 guests are staying in the apartment or home for that period of time. So if you have 1 room, then you can rent to 2 people at a time. If you have 2 rooms, you can rent to a single person at the same time. But if you have in that 2 rooms, if you have a single person and a couple, you're potentially in violation.
Okay, that's good to know. And that will also apply like for a condo as well.
Same rules, condo, single family house. A lot of people think that because the way the press has written articles, that there's special rules of 1 or 2 family houses,
right,
but the city views it exactly the same way. They view, in terms of the prohibition on actually using and renting, they view single and 2 family house exactly the same.
That's exactly the impression that we got, and that's why we're here today to sort of clarify that with a legal expert. Steven, thanks a lot for
Thank you.
giving that information, and you can always get in touch with any one of us to get more info on Airbnb. And as the situation changes and the law changes, which it constantly does, we will keep you updated.
Thank you for viewing. Visit my website for more information or subscribe to my YouTube channel.